Our media center was able to meet with Andrew and Noreen Brunson. For many that have worked on this case involving Pastor Brunson for almost 2 years, this is the first time they actually saw him in the flesh, saw Noreen in the flesh. I mean, they've seen the pictures, they've heard Noreen's voice, but to have Pastor Brunson actually in the studio is important. I think it's really important here to start from the beginning, and that is, Pastor Brunson, how you ended up in Turkey. I mean, you were a pastor, you were trained. Let's talk about how you decided, what was the leading to go to Turkey?
Well, actually, our church asked us to go there. We didn't especially want to go to Turkey. We wanted to go to Egypt, but they asked us to go to Turkey, and we're so glad we did. Even though we had some difficulties there, we have no regrets about going there. And
so the idea was the church wanted you to, like a church plant, basically?
Yes, they wanted us to go there. Turkey's the largest unevangelized country in the world. So there's a good reason for missionaries to go there. The only thing they know about Jesus is what Islam teaches about Jesus. So some of them are just curious. Everything they know about Christianity has come from Hollywood, from TV or from movies. So they really don't know about Jesus.
They don't understand the basics. They've been taught that the Bible has been changed. So you're really starting not just at neutral, but way negative.
So you're 23 years there, incidents here and there, but nothing of this significance. What happens that leads to your arrest?
It was out of the blue. We were very surprised. We were called into the police station. We thought we were going to be receiving long-term residence permits, which we had applied for. And then they told us they were going to deport us. So we knew that was a risk, that they could deport us. But the idea that they would keep me in prison was, no one had thought that was possible.
When we translated the charges, the official charging documents, the terrorism that they were talking about, that Noreen was just talking about, that Pastor Brunson was charged with, actually translated from Turkish into Christianization.
Right.
That would be terrorism or a national security risk to a country like Turkey.
And one of the things that made this case so different is usually it's with a nation like Iran, who is, naturally hostile with the United States, or even China, who's not an enemy, they're an ally, but they're sort of adversarial. In this case, we were dealing with a country that's a NATO ally that we wanted strong economic ties with. And Jay, we just thought it was really important that the whole world saw what was happening, because even people inside Turkey, Jay, we're not going to stand for this.
It was over 2 years of daily just working and advocating and going to D.C. and going to the Working Group on Arbitrary Detention at the United Nations, talking to Noreen every day.
The president sent out tweets. I remember when we saw it, I think I woke up to him because he tweets sometimes pretty early, and he tweeted out that he was thinking about putting sanctions on Turkey, and then a day later, I think he tweeted, "I have sanctioned 2 of the Turkish leaders."
I was standing in a Turkish courtroom and I was convicted of terrorism, and I thought I was going back to prison, and within a day we're in the White House. So it's a pretty amazing turnaround.
We're grateful to God, obviously, for the grace that he gave us and the wisdom that he gave us and the endurance that he gave you, Andrew.
We are so thankful for ACLJ.